Big shock as Obasanjo sends federal government urgent message, tells Tinubu to do this against Trump's criticisms. Before I go into details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel and share. Good morning, welcome to today's news. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has urged the Nigerian government to work constructively with US President-elect Donald Trump to improve Nigeria's international image. Obasanjo's remarks come in the context of Trump's controversial comment from 2018, where he referred to Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations as shithole countries. These remarks, reported by the Washington Post, drew widespread criticisms but also highlighted the need for African nations, including Nigeria, to challenge and reshape such perceptions. Obasanjo, speaking during an interview on Arise TV's morning show, emphasized the necessity for Nigerians to counter Trump's derogatory characterization by demonstrating the nation's value and potential. He noted that while Trump's election might not sit well with everyone, the reality is that he was chosen by the American people to lead for the next 4 years. As the leader of the United States, a country Obasanjo referred to as the greatest country in the world, Trump's influence extends far beyond American borders, positioning him as a de facto leader on the global stage. Obasanjo suggested that Nigeria and other African nations cannot afford to ignore this reality and must find strategic ways to engage with the new administration. According to Obasanjo, Africa must present itself as more than the negative stereotypes that Trump's comments implied. He stated that while Trump described certain nations in demeaning terms, it is crucial to communicate that not all of Africa fits such a description. There are decent houses in Africa, he remarked, highlighting the progress and resilience of many African countries despite the challenges they face. Obasanjo further noted that this requires reaching out to policymakers within Trump's administration who might be open to dialogue and partnership. Obasanjo also underscored America's vested interest in Africa, from economic opportunities to geopolitical stability. He argued that Nigeria must make this interest clear to Trump and his team, positioning the country as a valuable partner rather than a problem. America has a enlightened interest in Africa, he said, urging mutual respect and collaboration. He called on the US to recognize the dignity of African nations and their citizens, including those living in America. The former president believes such an approach could foster a world that is more secure, stable, and prosperous for all. While addressing the broader geopolitical context, Obasanjo acknowledged that America's global dominance might not last forever. He speculated that in the coming years, China could surpass the US in economic size, technological innovation, and military power. However, he maintained that America remains the most influential country today, necessitating pragmatic engagement. He stressed that working with the US, especially under a leader like Trump, requires tact, diplomacy, and a clear articulation of mutual benefit. Obasanjo's remarks also touch on Nigerians' internal challenges and also the role of its government in reshaping perceptions. He argued that Nigeria must address its issues from governance to economic development to present itself as a credible and respectable nation. By doing so, the country can counter negative stereotypes and project a more accurate image to the international community. The former president's comments come at a time when Nigeria faces scrutiny on various fronts, including corruption, security, and economic performance. These challenges have often fueled negative narratives about the country, which figures like Trump have seized upon. However, Obasanjo's perspective suggests that Nigerians' response should not be defensive or confrontational, but proactive and constructive. By engaging with global powers like the US and addressing its internal issues, Nigeria can change the narrative and assert its position as a leader in Africa and the world. Obasanjo's call for engagement with Trump administration aligns with his broader vision for Nigeria's role on the global stage. Throughout his career, he has advocated for Africa's integration into the global economy and the need for African nations to assert their dignity and agency. His comments reflect his belief that Nigeria, as the most populous African nation and a major economic